Exactly 2 years ago this month, I was on the floor of the Republican National Convention where Donald Trump got his third presidential nomination. And I will never, ever forget walking amongst all of those signs calling for mass deportations now as part of the Trump agenda. And honestly, it was not difficult then to know how terrible actually executing that policy would be for this country. And I said as much to Rachel Maddow moments after Donald Trump accepted the nomination.
He's talking about removing more than 10 million people from this country who have been here, many of them since they were little children, contribute to this society, contribute to this economy, live in all of our neighborhoods and communities. And now we're throwing balloons around as if this is a party.
This is what they wanted, and now we are living through it. In just the last week alone, 2 people have been killed by ICE agents, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo in Houston and Joan Sebastian Guerrero in Maine. And so naturally, those ICE shootings and Trump's mass deportation policy were a point of contention today in Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche's confirmation hearing.
Should state and local law enforcement be involved in ensuring that there's an independent investigation of these incidents?
I mean, it depends. I think there's a lot of times when state and locals should definitely be involved, but I don't think unequivocally state and local have to be involved for independence. Of course not.
Here's the bottom line why I'm asking these 2 questions. Because in prior incidents, you referenced Minnesota earlier in your testimony, Alex Preddy and Renee Good were also fatally shot. And as far as we can tell, it's been months and months, there's been no justice in these cases. As far as I can tell, those officers were not fired. They have not faced any charges. So it does undermine any confidence anybody should have in the Department of Homeland Security's ability, through the Inspector General or otherwise, to investigate its own.
All of this comes as Trump announced this morning that ICE agents actually will not suspend their vehicle stop operations, just a day after officials did announce a temporary pause. And tonight, The Atlantic is reporting that Trump reversed course on stopping ICE traffic stops because it would, quote, make them all look weak, according to one official. Now, you might be saying this reversal sounds familiar. You know why? It is. Trump did the exact same thing last June when he very briefly ordered ICE agents to pause immigration raids at farms and at restaurants and at hotels, only for him to reverse course just days later, telling agents to keep it up. Keep up those raids at farms and hotels. Senator Jeff Merkley, Democrat of Oregon, has long been a fierce opponent of Donald Trump's immigration policies, exposing Trump's infamous zero-tolerance policy, separation policy in 2018. He joins us now. Senator, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you, Jacob.
Thanks. You have led the charge by Democrats to block funding for ICE and for CBP in this second term. I'm not surprised by the president's reversal. What do you think about it? What do you see going on with ICE?
Well, we see these flip-flops happen all the time, but the bottom line is this. The president has no reservations about continuing this secret police strategy, unmarked vans, unmarked uniforms, detaining people without access to lawyers or family, creating a mystery about where they're located, and proceeding to just terrorize our communities. You know, he at times said, I'm going after those who have done violent acts, but in fact, he's creating violent acts against our communities. And Senator Padilla was right on. There is no competent investigation of any of these horrific acts by the ICE and CBP agents.
Despite numerous pleas, not just in Maine and in Houston, but from all of these states all across the country over and over again, the sort of line that the administration continues to put out is the same one that Tom Homan just talked about tonight on Fox in the past hour, saying it goes back to Democrats' rhetoric against ICE, why this is happening. We should watch that together. Let's watch.
All goes back to the Dems who want to continually attack ICE and tell people to evade them, tell people don't comply, tell people to resist, and tell people ICE isn't a real law enforcement agency. You and I talked about this 1.5 years ago, Laura. I said if the hateful rhetoric didn't stop, there will be bloodshed. And I'm saying it right now. There's still going to be more bloodshed unless they shut their mouth and let ICE enforce the laws that they enacted.
He didn't just, Senator Merkley, he didn't just say it to her 1.5 years ago. He said it to me, standing in a loading dock in Long Beach on the second day of the raids in L.A. He said, someone's going to die. if this level of confrontation continues. But isn't what he's saying, if you're going to oppose ICE, if you're going to stand up and exercise your First Amendment rights, there's a risk of you getting killed by ICE?
Well, certainly he's saying, all of you who are pointing out and putting a spotlight on the violent behavior by these agents are causing the violent behavior. And, of course, that's absolutely absurd. And I must say it's so frustrating to have now 17 times people have been shot. You know, the day after Renee Good and Petty proceeded to be shot in Minneapolis, the day after, 2 individuals were shot by ICE CBP agents just blocks from my house in Oregon. And no accountability, high secrecy, no transparency, no reforms. I had hoped that the new Director of Homeland Security, Mark Mullen, would proceed to enact some reforms. I thought there was some hope there. We've seen no such improvement on the conduct of these agents in our communities.
This weekend on my show, I spoke to the son of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, Ronaldo. His father was the man that was killed by ICE agents in Houston last week. I want to just play a little bit of what Ronaldo told me.
We're left without a father. My mom is left without a husband. I mean, no matter how anyone puts it, a life was lost, and it was unfortunately someone who did not deserve it. I just, of course, want to continue pressuring for an independent investigation and for all the evidence to be released.
What do you see as the impact on all of these communities across the country? I mean, Ronaldo is acutely feeling it. His family is acutely feeling it. They have lost their father. But how does it extend to the broader communities that have all been a part of this?
Well, in the broader community, there's enormous stress. Children are often not going to school. Individuals are not going to work. Parents are worried their children will be detained. Children are worried their parents will be detained. And if Trump was, in fact, going after those who have committed violent acts and saying those people will be held accountable and deported, all Americans would agree with that. But that's not what he's doing at all. And it's having an impact that just kind of keeps radiating out through the community. We are seeing companies that are saying our workers are unable to show up for work. It's damaging the American economy. It's damaging our American communities. You know, there's hardly a person in any room Trump goes into that isn't an immigrant or a descendant of an immigrant. And yet here he is carrying on this campaign against what, you know, he refers to as the enemy within. And understand, this is a standard tactic of authoritarians who want to dismantle a democratic republic. Identify an enemy within, put police in the street.
Yes.
It's part of a huge challenge we have between now and November to save our republic.